We have arrived at T3C Propagation Modes. Out of these 11 questions, one of them will be on your actual test. Why are simplex UHF signals rarely heard beyond their radio horizon? C. UHF signals are usually not propagated by the ionosphere. UHF frequencies are too high to be refracted by the ionosphere. They pass straight through into space. Without ionospheric refraction, UHF signals are limited to line-of-sight paths and cannot bend beyond the radio horizon under normal conditions. What is a characteristic of HF communication compared with communications on VHF and higher frequencies? C. Long-distance ionospheric propagation is far more common on HF. HF's defining characteristic is its ability to propagate over long distance via ionospheric refraction, or skywave propagation. VHF and higher frequencies are generally limited to line of sight, while HF signals can travel thousands of miles by bouncing between the ionosphere and the Earth. What is a characteristic of VHF signals received via auroral backscatter? B. They are distorted and signal strength varies considerably. Auroral backscatter signals are reflected off of the aurora borealis, or the northern lights. The aurora is highly turbulent, irregular reflector, which causes the reflected signals to be significantly distorted with rapid signal strength variation. Which of the following types of propagation is most commonly associated with occasional strong signals on the 10, 6, and 2 meter bands from beyond the radio horizon? The answer is C, sporadic E. Sporadic E, or E's, propagation occurs when dense patches of ionization form in the E layer of the ionosphere, creating a mirror that can reflect VHF signals over hundreds to thousands of miles. It's the most common cause of unexpected beyond-horizon signals on these bands. Which of the following effects may allow radio signals to travel beyond obstructions between the transmitting and receiving stations? B. Knife-edge diffraction. Knife-edge diffraction occurs when radio waves encounter a sharp edge, like a mountain ridge or building rooftop, and bend around it. This allows signals to reach areas that would otherwise be in the shadow of the obstruction. What type of propagation is responsible for allowing over-the-horizon VHF and UHF communications to ranges of approximately 300 miles on a regular basis? C. Tropospheric ducting. Tropospheric ducting occurs when temperature inversion in the lower atmosphere creates a duct that traps and guides VHF and UHF signals beyond the normal horizon. It can provide reliable communications out to about 300 miles. What band is best suited for communication via meteor scatter? B. 6 meters. The 6 meter band, or 50 megahertz, is optimal for meteor scatter communication. When meteors enter the atmosphere, they create brief trails of ionized gas and reflect radio signal. The 6 meter frequency is ideal, low enough to reflect efficiently and high enough for practical antenna sizes. What causes tropospheric ducting? B. Temperature inversions in the atmosphere. Tropospheric ducting is caused by temperature inversions, a layer of warm air sitting on top of cooler air. This inverted temperature gradient bends radio waves back toward the surface, creating a duct that can carry VHF and UHF signals well beyond the normal horizon. What is generally the best time for long-distance 10-meter band propagation via the F region? C. From dawn to shortly after sunset during periods of high sunspot activity. The F region of the ionosphere is most strongly ionized during daylight hours when solar UV radiation is at its peak. During periods of high sunspot activity, the F layer becomes dense enough to refract 10-meter signals back to Earth for long-distance propagation. Which of the following bands may provide long-distance communication via the ionospheric F region during the peak of the sunspot cycle? The answer is A, 6 and 10 meters. During sunspot cycle peaks, the F region ionization can become dense enough to refract signals up to about 50 megahertz. The 10-meter band, 28 megahertz, benefits most, and the 6-meter band, 50 megahertz, can occasionally open for F-region propagation during peak activity. Why is the radio horizon for VHF and UHF signals more distant than the visual horizon? B. The atmosphere refracts radio waves slightly. The Earth's atmosphere has a light refractive effect on radio waves, bending them gently downward and allowing them to follow the curvature of the Earth slightly beyond the visual horizon. This extends the radio horizon about 15% farther than the optical horizon. So some key takeaways from section T3. UHF signals pass through the ionosphere limited to line of sight under normal conditions. 2. HF is the go-to for long-distance ionospheric or skywave propagation. 3. Sporadic E is the most common source of unexpected beyond-horizon VHF signals, especially 6 and 10 meters. Tropospheric ducting, caused by temperature inversion, enables regular 300-mile VHF-UHF contacts. 5. 6 meters is best for meteor scatter. F-region propagation works on 6 meters and 10 meters during sunspot peaks. 6. The radio horizon extends 15% beyond the visual horizon due to atmospheric refraction.